was discussing about the general or typical reaction of dilute acids. So I did A reaction, that was simple displacement, B reaction, that was neutralization, and C and D was preparation of carbon dioxide and preparation of sulfur dioxide. Okay. When we use carbonate or bicarbonate, we get CO2. And when we use SO3, that is sulfite or bisulfite, we get SO2. Hope you remember it. Okay, now we continue our today's lesson. Both carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide turn lime water milky, and the milkiness disappears on passing excess of the gases. So question may come, name two gases that turns lime water milky. The answer would be CO2 and SO2, carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. That means if a gas turns lime water milky, you cannot say surely that it is sulfur dioxide or it is carbon dioxide. It can be either of them, because both the gases have ability of turning lime water milky, and the milkiness disappears when passing excess of the gas. Then how to distinguish between them? That means we have to do some other test, and the other test is we will use solution of potassium permanganate, KMnO4. KMnO4 solution we can use. The color of this solution is purple. Purple solution. When sulfur dioxide is passed through, when SO2 is passed through purple solution of, when SO2 is passed through purple solution of potassium permanganate, the solution turns colorless, but when we pass carbon dioxide through it, no change. Another test is K2Cr2O7. This is orange solution. When we pass SO2, that is sulfur dioxide, through it, orange solution turns green. But when we pass CO2 through it, no change. So these two tests we can suggest to distinguish between CO2 and SO2. To distinguish between SO2 and CO2, we can use these two solutions. The question can come otherwise also. Question may ask you, name the gas which decolorizes the purple solution of KMnO4. The answer is SO2. Name the gas that turns orange solution of potassium perchlorate green. The answer is sulfur dioxide. So you have to have a solid information. They are going to ask you question in direct or indirect manner. And once you have the information with you, then you can answer it easily. Hope you understood it. Whereas I tell you one more thing, carbon dioxide comes out with effervescence. Yesterday I told you about that. That means soft drinks, flavored drinks, cold drinks like Coca-Cola, Thumbs Up and all. Carbon dioxide gas is compressed. When you release it, that is when you are exposing it to the atmospheric pressure, it forms bubbles, rises up. Even hydrogen gas also forms bubbles or effervescence, but with a popping sound, pop sound, pop, P-O-P, pop sound, that is hydrogen. But carbon dioxide only produces effervescence without any pop sound. Okay. Now there is a question regarding it. Just think and answer. This is a quite tricky question. No, you understand it first the question, then if you feel like going, will you drop. There are two containers containing, both the containers containing lime water. Both the containers are having lime water. And we are having two jars full of gases. Gas, here also there is a gas. We are inverting two gas jars over lime water. And we observe that the lime water turns milky. The lime water turns milky. What are these two probable gases? Name the gases used. Very good. The answer is CO2 and SO2. Okay, now question further says how to distinguish between them without using any other chemicals. You have to distinguish between CO2 and SO2, but without using, condition is without using any chemicals. How will I distinguish? By chance, if you have to suggest now how we will distinguish between CO2 and SO2, how will you find that this gas is CO2 and this gas is SO2? Yeah, give. Okay, before that I just tell you, if you are allowed to use chemicals, by chance if you are allowed to use chemicals, you could use, just now I said no, you could use KMnO4 solution, potassium permanganate solution, or you could use potassium dichromate solution, and the color change will tell you that this is SO2, and if there is no change in color, that is CO2. That is easy, but that situation will be there if we are allowed to use any other chemicals. But without using any chemicals, how can we distinguish between them? No. Blowing air from your mouth. No, but how to distinguish between these two gases? Gases in the gas jar. The question is that they are not asking identify the gas present in your mouth. Yes, huh? Okay, then tell me what will happen fire is filter if you put? Carbon dioxide? No. Where from you get more amount of gas? The gas jar is having limited amount of gas. How can you use more amount of gas? Even if you use more amount of gas, the milkiness disappears in both the cases. So how will you distinguish them? That's what I am asking. That is the question, no? Okay, I will give you the answer. The answer is very simple. No, it is possible. That's why the question is arising. Okay. The answer is we have to wait for some time. After some time, you will see that one of the containers milkiness, one of the containers lime water's milkiness is disappearing slowly, and it disappears. And the another container's milkiness does not disappear. It remains as it is. Now from this observation, can you tell me which one is the container in milkiness is disappearing was having which gas inverted over it? Yeah, tell me. On the container, where the milkiness was disappearing, or where the milkiness was not disappearing? No, where it is not disappearing, that is sulfur dioxide, and where it is disappearing, that is carbon dioxide. You know the reason, because in the air, no, because you supply whatever carbon dioxide milkiness is produced here in lime water. But now this lime water is receiving excess of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Air is supplying carbon dioxide and causing the milkiness to disappear. Whereas sulfur dioxide will not be supplied by air. Air cannot supply sulfur dioxide. There is no sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is a poisonous gas. It is not present in the air. So that milkiness, it will not get excess amount of sulfur dioxide. It will remain as it is. Hope you understood this question. Have you understood the answer? Or once again, what do you say? No, yes, I didn't understand. You tell me to repeat or it's okay. Say that. We have to wait for the observation for some time. After some time, we will observe that the milkiness of lime water in one container is disappearing slowly. That container must have the carbon dioxide inverted over it, and another container the milkiness does not disappear. That must be having sulfur dioxide. Why the milkiness disappearing here? The reason is because air is supplying excess amount of carbon dioxide to this, and we know the fact that when excess carbon dioxide is passed, the milkiness disappears. Whereas sulfur dioxide is not supplied by the air, because air does not contain sulfur dioxide. So the milkiness remains. It does not disappear. Hope you understood the answer. Okay? This is quite tricky and clever question. Yes or no? Tell me. Yes, very good. It was. Now, now the reaction E. Reaction was like this. I have written sulfides plus dilute acid. Dilute acid gives salt plus H2S gas, hydrogen sulfide gas. Okay. For example, I have written one example, metal sulfide, FeS plus HCl. This is dilute. We are using dilute acid. Tell me the answer. What do you expect the answer to come? Fe will combine with Cl. What will it form? Will it form FeCl2 or it will form FeCl3? Which one? Very good. You remember it. FeCl2. So write here FeCl2 plus H2S. Put 2. Reaction is absolutely fine. Now I will writing FeS plus H2SO4. Suppose instead of this I am using sulfuric acid from dilute. Guess your answer. What is the answer? Fe will combine with SO4. Solve. FeSO4 plus H2S. Salt and hydrogen sulfide. So it is already managed. FeSO4 plus H2S. Finished. Salt and hydrogen sulfide. We are bonding the sulfide of the sulfide plus dilute acid gives this. Similarly, if I will write this one, PbS plus HCl. Tell me the answer. What answer do you expect? What is the answer now? Tell me. Yeah, not possible. Who said that? Yes, very good. Not possible because PbCl2 will be formed insoluble, so reaction does not take place. So that part we have to be, that rule is applicable for all dilute acids. Remember, in all the cases, you must not have an insoluble salt form. So this reaction is not possible because it will result in PbCl2, which is insoluble. Hope you got this point. That also you have to check. Okay, now H2S gas is identified by its smell. It has a rotten egg smell. It is colorless, but it is not odorless. It has got a smell of rotten egg. Okay, now another one. Rotten egg smell it has, H2S gas. Then all the sulfides, most of the sulfides are black in color. You can apply this one also. Most of them are black, except one sulfide which is white. That is ZNS, zinc sulfide. ZNS is white. Rest all sulfides are black in color. Black. They are all solids. They are all black in color. You can apply this one also. If I ask you what is the color of PBS, they will say black. What is the color of copper sulfide? You will say black. What is the color of FeS? You will say black. What is the color of magnesium sulfide? You will say black. What is the color of sodium sulfide? You will say black. But what is the color of zinc sulfide? They will say white. Yes. And I will tell you, zinc sulfide is used where? It is used in a tube light, fluorescent tube. The tube light which we use at home, that is painted white or that is coated white. Have you seen the coating there on the tube light? White coating. They are nothing but zinc sulfide. The color of zinc sulfide, it is not filament. Filament is inside. No, I am talking about the outer. Outer part is painted white or not? They are this one zinc sulfide coated glass. The glass is zinc sulfide coated. Why zinc sulfide is a fluorescent material? Fluorescent. What is the meaning of fluorescent? Fluorescent is a substance which glows, emitting light when it receives electron. So fluorescent material when receives electron from the filament, it starts glowing and emitting light, white light that we receive. So not to go that far, but only to remember that zinc sulfide is white in color. Rest all sulfides are black. Any kind of sulfide. You can use a guesswork and that guesswork will be correct. If I ask you what is the color of aluminium sulfide, tell me. Okay, what is the color of silver sulfide? Black. Fine. Okay, now zinc sulfide is white. Zinc sulfide is white in color. Yeah, and it is fluorescent in nature. Fluorescent means when it will receive electrons, it will emit light. It will start glowing and emitting light. Okay. Now, just there is a question, whether you know it or not, but I will be asking you and just think and answer this. It is not advised to eat eggs with a silver spoon. Why? It is not allowed or not advised to eat eggs with a silver spoon. With silver spoon we must not eat eggs. Why? What is the reason behind? Can you tell me the reason? Fast, tell me the answer. I will tell you. It is not poisonous. If you are thinking that it is poisonous, it will be poisoning our body. So answer is no. Taste of the egg will not change. Did you have eggs? Then how do you know the taste? Okay, I'll tell you the reason. Okay, why it is not advised. Maybe connection from your side. Just mute. No, I'll give the answer. Okay. It is not advised to eat eggs with a silver spoon. The reason is, in the egg, the yellow part, that is called yolk. Y-O-L-K, yolk. That is the yellow part. Yellow part is sulfur, molten sulfur. Please try to understand what I am saying. The yellow part of the egg is called yolk, and that contains sulfur. That is nothing but sulfur, molten sulfur. When silver comes in contact with the yellow part of the egg, silver and sulfur reaction takes place and it forms silver sulfide. AgS. And if I ask you what is the color of silver sulfide, what is the answer? All sulfides are black, I said, and you saying purple. Silver sulfide is black. So that means your spoon will turn black. Remember it. So that is the reason why it is not advised to eat eggs with the silver, pure silver articles or pure silver spoons. If you bring in contact, your silver article will turn black due to the formation of silver sulfide. But of course, this blackness of the spoon, you can clean it with water. It will take a day or two, then it will get clean. But there will be extra work for you. So that is the reason why it is not advised to eat eggs with the silver spoon. Hope you understood it. Of course, instant reaction, then what? Delayed reaction. Okay, now another question. Please listen and try to answer. Silver articles on long exposure to air tarnishes. Tarnishing means turning black. Silver articles may be ornaments, jewelry, sometimes bangles. Sometimes we have some kind of utensils or maybe vase, anything of silver. Silver articles on long exposure to air becomes black. Big part of the things. Dirtiness is turning black. Dirtiness means you can clean it with water, but it is turning black on there. Okay, now please get the answer from me. Okay, please try to get the answer from me. In the air, we have H2S gas present in a small quantity. That's why on long exposure to air, H2S gas react with the silver and it forms silver sulfide. And the silver sulfide color is black. That is the reason why the silver articles tarnishes in air. Otherwise, the question may come like this: name the gas that is responsible for tarnishing silver article on long exposure to the air. The answer is H2S. Don't say sulfur dioxide. Don't say sulfur. Sulfur is not a gas, and sulfur is a solid actually. Yellow color solid. Sulfur. Yeah, the gas is H2S that is present in the air in a small quantity. That's why on long exposure, maybe after a year or two, the silver article will turn black. Hope you understood it. And now another one, this H2S gas, which has a rotten smell, is prepared in a specially designed apparatus. In a specially designed apparatus called Gibbs apparatus. Gibbs apparatus is like this. This will be black stone FeS normally. Black colored stone, that is iron sulfide, is the cheapest among the sulfides. We use this one, black colored stone. This apparatus is called, Gibbs apparatus. Gibbs, K-I-P-P-S, Gibbs apparatus. And from the mouth of this Gibbs apparatus will be pouring any dilute acid. Dilute acid will pour, either HCl or H2SO4. Will be pouring, and that acid will come gently, slowly through the wall will come and will be coming in contact with FeS, and reaction will take place and it will give H2S gas, and that H2S gas will be coming out when we need it. There is an outlet like tap kind of arrangement. You open the tap, then the gas will be released. Gas will be coming out. I hope you got it. You understood. The main point, name the gas that is prepared in Gibbs apparatus. In Gibbs apparatus, Kipp apostrophe S, Gibbs apparatus. Name the gas. The gas name is H2S. The name of the gas is H2S that is prepared in the Gibbs apparatus. I hope you have got my point. Question will come like this: name the gas that is prepared in the Gibbs apparatus. The answer is H2S. Okay, this one is over. So we discussed all the general reactions of dilute acids. Now, next property of concentrated HCl. Concentrated HCl. Okay. Next property is concentrated HCl. When we are using concentrated HCl acids, we have to heat for the reaction. So, concentrated HCl acid, when you heat with an oxidizing agent, it gives chlorine gas, Cl2 gas, chlorine. Dilute acids had 5 reactions. First reaction was giving hydrogen gas, that was reaction A, simple displacement. Second reaction B was not giving any gas, it was giving water. C reaction, that was third one, was giving carbon dioxide. Fourth reaction was giving sulfur dioxide, and the fifth reaction E was giving H2S. But concentrated HCl will give chlorine gas, Cl2 gas. How? Reaction I have written already there, so you can have a look at it. This is the important one, very very important. This will give you MnCl2 salt plus H2O plus Cl2. Same reaction we write with Pb also. PbO2 plus HCl will give you PbCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2. Now we have another reaction, Pb3O4 plus HCl is giving you PbCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2. Then we have KMnO4 plus HCl is giving KCl plus MnCl2 plus H2O plus Cl2. You may not try to see reactions because I have already given you in the notes. And then next reaction was that is K2Cr2O7 plus HCl is giving KCl plus CrCl3 plus H2O plus Cl2. Okay, I have written all the reactions. Now, every time we are heating, remember, every time we are heating, because we are using concentrated acid, concentrated, here also concentrated, here also concentrated. Okay. Reactions are not balanced. I'll tell you about the color also. The color of MnO2 is black. Color of PbO2 is yellow. Pb3O4 color is red. This is called red also, red. KMnO4 is purple. K2Cr2 is orange. And chlorine gas color is greenish yellow. Chlorine gas has color greenish yellow. Okay, now balancing part. How do we balance it? We balance it this way. MnO2 can be like 4 over here. PbO2 also same way it go. We let us write 4 over here. Here also it is 4. Pb3 time we will be writing 8. KMnO4 time we write 16. Just see 4, 8, 16. These two are same. So we are using 4, 8, 16 and potassium. That moment time we will be using 14 over here. Then only you will be able to balance. Otherwise you will not be able to balance it. Okay, once I write 4 here, let us try to balance now. 4H is there. That means you have to write 2 over here. And it is balanced. Now, same thing out here. 2 if you write balanced. When you write 8 over here, let us see how we can balance. Pb3 is there. You have to put 3 here. Then it becomes 3Pb. You have 8H. You have to put 4 over here. Then 4 to the become 8H. Now, let us check. Chlorine is balanced or not? It is balanced because 3 to the 6 chlorine plus 2 8 chlorine, here also 8 chlorine. Balanced. This one, if you write 16, you have to know exact number what you are going to write at the back in order to balance. Otherwise, you will not be able to balance. They are not easy balancing, remember. Now here the answer will become KCl. Mn will also react with Cl, become MnCl2. Then H will react with oxygen H2O plus Cl2. How to balance? You have to write 16 over here. Just now, when you write 16, 16 and then you have to put 8 over here. Then 16 Cl is coming out here. KMnCl2. You have to put. It is not balanced. You have to put 2 over here. Put 2 and 2 Mn. You have to put 2 also here and check. It is balanced or not. We check chlorine now. 2 Cl, 2 to the 4, 4 plus 2, 6 Cl. But out here chlorine is 16. That means you have to write 5 over here, 5 Cl. Then it is balanced. 16 Cl, everything is balanced. When you write 14 HCl over here, then K2 is there, so you have to put 2 over here. Then Cr2 is there, here also you have to put 2. Then 14H is there, you have to put 7. Let us check chlorine is balanced or not. Chlorine is, there are 14 chlorine, and how many chlorines are there? 2 Cl, 2 to the 6, 6 plus 2, 8. That means 3 is missing over there, you get 3. So this is all you have to balance. You have to know the exact balancing number. First case 4, second case 8, 16. It's all double 4, 8, 16. Till K value 4 and K2 Cr2 is slightly different, that is 7. And that is 14, sorry, that is 14. And then that side will match little bit, you have to think here and there, and then you will be able to balance it. Color is very important. When black manganese dioxide is heated with concentrated HCl, chlorine gas is formed, which is greenish yellow in color. When yellow lead oxide, lead dioxide or lead 4 oxide is heated with concentrated HCl, we get greenish yellow chlorine gas formed. Observation is also important. Last year they had given this question. Identify X, which is a black salt, when heated with concentrated HCl, releases a greenish yellow gas. What is that black solid? Identify the black solid. Surely the black solid is MnO2. The black salt is MnO2. Yes. So this is very, very important, highly important reaction. Okay, one thing you must have noticed. Is this reaction possible? Check. PbO2 plus concentrated HCl is giving PbCl2. But it is insoluble, you are saying, but here this is the case of concentrated acid. Remember, concentrated, and we are eating. So the rule does not apply to concentrated acid. It is only applicable for dilute acids. Remember. So this reaction is possible. We will not bother whether the salt is soluble or insoluble. Reaction will take place, will not stop. It will carry on because the acid used is concentrated. So here you don't have to think about the solubility there. Remember it. Did you understand my point? What I said? General rule is applicable for general reaction, applicable for only dilute acids. But here we are having concentrated acid. So doesn't matter whichever type salt, soluble or insoluble, we are not going to bother about it. The reaction will take place. It is fine. Correct reaction. Hope you got my point. 3Cl2. It is already given in the copy. You can see over there also. Hope you understood the significance of this reaction. Question comes, HCl contains hydrogen and it contains chlorine. Question is, how can you prove HCl contains hydrogen? How can you prove? We have to write a reaction. Which reaction will we write? We will write simple displacement reaction. Reaction A of the dilute acid. What was it? Metal plus active metal plus dilute acid giving salt and hydrogen. So whatever hydrogen is present in the HCl, that is released in the form of gas, hydrogen gas. So that reaction proves that the acid contains hydrogen. Which reaction will prove that the HCl contains chlorine? Any one of these. Chlorine. Concentrated HCl you have to use in that case. Dilute HCl will give hydrogen and concentrated will give chlorine. So any one of these can be used. Hope you understood it. Okay, thank you. Now, have you checked what are the type of gases we can make using the HCl acid? What are the gases we are able to make? Or using dilute acid, what are the gases we are able to make? We were able to make H2, we were able to make carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, H2S and then chlorine using HCl. Using HCl, I am talking about HCl acid. Okay. Now another reaction, please have a look at it. 3 parts of HCl and 1 part of HNO3. This is also concentrated, this is also concentrated. This mixture is called aqua regia. Aqua regia. What is aqua regia? We say a mixture containing 3 parts of concentrated HCl, that is concentrated hydrochloric acid, and 1 part of concentrated nitric acid. That mixture is called aqua regia, which means aqua means water and regia means king. King has got regime. The one who has regime is called regia. So this mixture is called aqua regia. Why it is called aqua regia? Because of its very high dissolving power, dissolving ability. It can dissolve all the metals, including gold and platinum. That is why it is very, strong ability it has. It is called king of liquids. It is aqua regia means king of liquids. King of chemical is concentrated sulfuric acid, but king of liquids is aqua regia. And what is it? The mixture containing 3 parts of concentrated hydrochloric acid and 1 part of concentrated nitric acid by volume. We have to take the parts, 3 parts and 1 part volume wise, not the weight wise, volume wise. Maybe 3 liters over here and 1 liter over here and then mix them together. Don't take it this way, 3 kg and 1 kg, don't take weight wise. You have to mix it volume wise. And now the question arises, why this mixture that aqua regia has so high dissolving ability? Because within the mixture the chemical reaction takes place. The reaction I have shown is 3HCl plus HNO3 will be giving NOCl. It gives NOCl plus H2O plus nascent chlorine like this. 2H2O, here we have 2. Now it is vanished. This is called nascent chlorine. Nascent. What is the meaning of nascent? Nascent means newly born. Anything which is just born, freshly prepared, that is called nascent. Nascent dictionary meaning is newly born. BORN, newly born. So that is that is written under the square bracket. Anything nascent. And the newly born or this nascent chlorine is very active, very reactive, very highly active. It quickly combines with the metal and cause the metal to be dissolved. That means gold and platinum normally they do not dissolve in acids. Now we will be having reaction like gold AU plus this Cl, nascent chlorine reacting together forming AuCl3. Put vanishing number 3 is vanished. Platinum will be dissolving in the nascent chlorine, that is will form platinum chloride PtCl4. Value of platinum is 4, the 4 comes here. Gold value is 3, that's why 3 comes here. We have to put 4 over here. This is why it is having ability of dissolving even the gold and platinum. Normally gold and platinum are those metals which do not get dissolved in acid. They have no effect of acid on them. But the aqua regia can even dissolve them. Why? Because this mixture contains nascent chlorine. NOCl is called nitrosyl chloride. The name of NOCl is nitrosyl chloride. Not that important right now. Nitrosyl chloride. And the significance of nitrosyl chloride is like this. Question coming like this: name a compound that contains all three electronegative elements or all three non-metallic elements. It is quite rare, and the answer is NaCl. All of them are non-metal. Negative LC, negative, negative. Now, normally in any compound, you will see one positive, one negative, one positive, one negative, like that. If we have CO2, then both of them are negative. Carbon also negative, O also negative. SO2, sulfur also negative, O also negative. But it is containing two electronegative elements. But do we have any example of a compound having three elements which all of them are electronegative? Electronegative means they all are non-metal. The answer will come here. Nitrosyl chloride. Negative, negative. All they have negative values. So there it becomes important. In that context, name a compound that contains all three electronegative elements. The answer will be nitrosyl chloride. The name will be nitrosyl chloride and the formula is NaCl. Hope you will remember it. I think I did not give you the copy. You can write down as footnotes on your own. Hope this is done. Now we are in the last part of this chapter, that is also very important. Tests. Test for HCl. Test for HCl. First test. I gave 4 tests, 2 for concentrated and 2 for dilute. Concentrated one is not that important, but the dilute ones are important. But anyway, I will tell you. When a glass rod is dipped in concentrated HCl and brought near the jar of ammonia, dense white fume is formed. We know the reaction NH3 plus HCl will give NH4Cl. So, dense white fume is formed. Second reaction, when MnO2, that is black, when MnO2 is heated with concentrated HCl, greenish yellow chlorine gas is formed. That is the second test. These two are for the concentrated. Third test for dilute acid I gave, and the test was like this: silver nitrate we will be adding. Dilute HCl will be added to silver nitrate solution. It will give AgCl plus HNO3. AgCl is precipitants. We will put an arrow in the downward direction here. AgCl, silver chloride, and we know silver chloride is insoluble. Curdy white precipitate. I think you have written it already. Curdy white PPT. When dilute HCl acid is added to silver nitrate solution, a curdy white precipitate or PPT is formed, which is insoluble in all dilute acid but soluble in ammonium hydroxide. Hope you understood it. This is quite important one, this reaction. Then silver nitrate solution is used to detect chloride ion, chloride Cl. Because it is combining with Cl forming AgCl precipitate, curdy white. Make a solution that is used to detect or identify chloride ion. The answer is silver nitrate solution. And another reaction I give lead nitrate, PbNO3O2, PbNO3O2 plus HCl dilute. This will give you PbCl2 plus HNO3. You have to put 2 vanished. Okay. You would be wondering why PbCl2, because PbCl2 is insoluble, and how come it is formed? It is formed because we are using lead nitrate. General reactions I gave, if you remember it, I gave metal plus dilute acid. Second reaction I gave base, that is any kind of oxides and hydroxides and dilute acid. Third reaction I said CO3, carbonate or bicarbonate plus dilute acid. Fourth reaction I said SO3 or HSO3, that one I said. Fifth one I said sulfide plus dilute acid, but I did not say about the nitrate. So this reaction is possible. Reaction is not possible for 5 reactions of dilute acid, for those 5 reactions, general reactions, if the salt is insoluble. Here this is possible. So PbCl2 precipitate is formed. This is white. white PPT. This is curly white PPT. So, question is name two solutions that can be used to detect chloride ion. The answer is silver nitrate and lead nitrate. Both the solution forms white precipitate. In one case we get curly white, another case we get just white PPT. And this white precipitate is insoluble in cold water but soluble in hot water. You know that fact. PbCl2 is the chloride which is insoluble in cold water but soluble in hot water. Now one question they may ask you like this. A dilute HCl is added to a solution X and a white precipitate is formed. This white precipitate is insoluble in dilute nitric acid but soluble in ammonium hydroxide. Identify X. Then you will say silver nitrate. Again question says there is a solution X. Dilute HCl is added to the solution X and a white PPT is formed which is insoluble in cold water and soluble in hot water. What is the name of the solution X? Then we say lead nitrate. Or if question comes, how can you distinguish between the white PPT of AgCl and PbCl2? Then you can suggest method. You can say that white PPT, if we put hot water, if it dissolves, it will be lead chloride. And if it does not dissolve with hot water, that will be AgCl. Or you can use ammonium hydroxide. The one which dissolves in ammonium hydroxide, that will be silver chloride, and the one which does not dissolve in ammonium hydroxide will be PbCl. Hope you understood all this test. Now, uses of HCl. Okay, you will see the video. Now, why to bother so much? No need to interrupt, sir, please. You will see that you will get the video and you will see where this part you missed out. Okay. Uses of HCl. First use is HCl is used in the pickling of metals. What is the meaning of pickling? Pickling is cleaning the surface of metal before it is galvanized. You will be wondering what is galvanized or what is galvanization. Galvanization is the process of coating zinc metal over iron. Galvanization prevents rusting of iron. At home we are using galvanized iron pipe, GI pipes we call. We use corrugated GI sheets. Tin sheet we are using at home making roof. They are all galvanized. They do not rust. We are preventing them from rusting by galvanization. But before we galvanize, we need to clean the metal surface, and that cleaning is done by hydrochloric acid. Second use I gave, question become name the acid used for pickling of metal, you say HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. Now another one, HCl acid can also be used in extracting gums and glues from animal bones. You know, at home, even like stationaries, we use gums. So it is all made from HCl. HCl is dissolved in HCl will be reacting with the bones and will be extracting gums and the glues. Okay. And the last use in the manufacture of aqua regia. I think I talked about the aqua regia, which is having a strong dissolving ability. So these are the three main use of HCl. I think with this chapter is over. Next day we will be starting new chapter, that is ammonia. So thank you.